Okay, that's all we need to do during the Union action phase. Next phase is removed exposed tokens. So the exposed token looks like that, but there are none attached, so we skip it. Okay, Union deployment phase. Okay, the Union deployment table is down here, but let me show you something that's a little bit clearer. Okay, so we're going to roll 1d6, consult the column. We're on the second wave, so 14th Connecticut, 108th New York, 130th Pennsylvania. Okay, so we're going to see where these guys are going to enter from, which attack tracks. So we're going to roll 1d6. We get a 5. So we place that here. Okay, so 14th Connecticut is going to come in at B1. Okay, 108th New York is going to come in on attack track C here, and 130th Pennsylvania D. So D1. Okay, and that's how you deploy the next Union phase. Let me just take that away. So that's the Union deployment phase complete. Okay. Next is the Confederate action phase. So we're going to roll 4 Confederate action die, and that will determine which actions we can take. Okay, so we've got a 1, 3, 5, and a 6. Actually, let me get the page again. So this is, the information you need is down here on the player sheet, but let's just make it clearer again. So we assign each die to one column and then choose one of the actions from that column. So the 1 has no effect, no action available. 3 gives us a choice of inspire or fire. 6 allows us to choose anything. 5 allows us to reload. So last turn, if you recall, I used 2 dice to give a boosted action to the 30th North Carolina, and they failed their cohesion check. That's bad news for me, very bad news, not disastrous, but it is bad news. From the point of view, however, of giving you some kind of idea of the kind of decisions that are going to start to be made fairly early on in the game, I have an ammunition token coming along the supply line, which will automatically resolve in 2 turns. So I don't want to waste it. So 30th North Carolina and 4th North Carolina need to reload. I don't want the ammunition token to resolve and not be able to, you can't increase the mini ball value above 4. So I definitely want the 4th North Carolina to use reload. The ammunition gives you 3 points to play with. So I will assign this one to reload. Okay, and that's going to be the 4th North Carolina. So they flip upright, and the mini ball value is reduced to 3. Okay, let's take a look here. So I think I'm going to try to inspire 30th North Carolina again. So this is a 1d6 roll. There's no modifier this time because it's not a boosted action. So I'm looking for a 4 or less to increase the cohesion back up to 5. But just get the dice. Use this one. Okay, so 1 to 4 is a success, and I get a 1. So I remove the cohesion token, and 30th North Carolina now has a cohesion of 5. However, it does still need to reload. And each Confederate counter can only take 1 action per turn. So that leaves me with 6, which I'm going to fire with the 14th North Carolina against the 1st Delaware. Okay, so this is a cohesion check. The unmodified cohesion check would be against the value of 5. However, there are some modifiers in play now. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do an exposed fire. So you can choose, you can just do a simple fire action. You can also choose exposed fire, which I'll explain in a second, or oblique fire, which allows a Confederate counter to fire into the adjacent attack track, but that does impose a penalty. So I'm going to choose exposed fire. I place an exposed token next to the 14th North Carolina. This means that the 14th North Carolina will accrue a +1 cohesion bonus for the purposes of resolving the attack. However, it also means that any Union counter that attacks the 14th North Carolina will also receive a +1 bonus to cohesion. And if we haven't seen it yet, but if a Union counter is in here, it may also charge, and in which case, if it charges, it will also receive a +1 bonus. So let's go through it. So 14th North Carolina has a cohesion of 5. There's a +1 bonus, brings it up to 6. 1st Delaware is in attack position 2. That imposes a -1 penalty to the Union, so that brings it back down to 5. There's also the smoke token in play, so that reduces it to 4. Okay, so we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4 to inflict a hit on the 1st Delaware. 5 or 6 will be a miss. The mini ball value is 2 or higher, which means the rules for devastating fire do apply. Devastating fire means on a roll of a natural 1, 2 hits will be inflicted on the 1st Delaware, and the mini ball value will be immediately reduced by 1. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4 is a hit, 1 is devastating fire, 5 or 6 is a miss. Oh, you wouldn't believe it. Okay, so they missed. Okay, so 14th North Carolina will need to reload in the next turn, and that's it. That concludes the Confederate action phase. Let me just move that to the side. So that's the Confederate action phase resolved. End of turn phase. So now, because the cohesion of the 1st Delaware and the 5th Maryland have both increased above 1, we now remove... there was another modifier as well. There was a modifier for -1 as well, so it should have been 1 to 3. I forgot about that. That's the attack on 14th North Carolina. So let me just quickly review that. The modifiers would have been 5, +1 is 6, -1 for Rangers back down to 5, -1 for Smoke is down to 4, -1 for the Crouch token is down to 3. Okay, so 1 to 3 would have hit. So end of turn phase, we remove the Crouch tokens, and we also remove the Smoke token. Okay, and that's it. That's the end of turn 4. I then mark off here on the player sheet, indicating that turn 4 has been resolved. So that concludes the video. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.